everyone, Miss Rossi here. Today I want to continue our discussion about radicals and our Unit 8, Day 7. And today what we're going to do is we're going to solve radical equations. So since we're solving the equations, we have to make sure that we check all of our answers to make sure that they work, because remember, we can't take square roots of negative numbers. So what we need to do to solve these equations is a couple of things. So we're going to talk about the notes and we'll do an example at the same time. So to solve and we're only going to talk today about square roots. So it's to solve equations that have square roots in them. All right, so to talk about it, I'll put an example right over here to the side. So let's say I have something like the square root of x minus 2 minus 3 equals 2. All right, so the very first thing we need to do is we need to isolate the radical if it's necessary. So notice that it's not alone here, right? So I got to take care of this negative 3 by adding 3 to both sides. So now I have the square root of x minus 2 equals 5. All right, now that that's isolated, we need to square both sides of the equation. And we're going to square them both because that undoes a square root function. All right, so we're going to square that and square that. So now if I square a square root, they're going to cancel each other. So now I have an x minus 2 equals 25. All right, so now that the square root's gone, we're going to solve for the variable. So add 2, I get x equals 27. Now, like I said earlier, you have to make sure that you check the solution in the original equation. It's very important. All right, so for our check here, all right, we want to know, is the square root of 27 minus 2 minus 3, is that equal to 2? So 27 minus 2, 25. Square root of 25 is 5. So 2 equals 2. So yeah, indeed, this does work. Okay. All right, so let's talk about an example. All right, so let's say I have the square root of 2y minus 1 plus 7 equals 4. All right, so we're going to isolate. So take that number away there. So the square root of 2y minus 1, and that's going to equal negative 3. Now that it's isolated, I'm going to square both sides of my equation. So 2y minus 1 equals 9. I'm going to solve my equation. So 2y equals 10. So y equals 5. So this is nice. Like I got a nice answer. But now let's do the check. So when I check this in my original equation, I have square root of 2 times 5 minus 1 plus 7. And I want to know, is that equal to 4? So 2 times 5, which is 10, minus 1. So the square root of 9. So it's really a 3 plus 7. Is 3 plus 7 4? No, that's 10. So this is rejected. So what this is telling me is that there's no solution. Okay, let's try an easier one. So let's just say I say the square root of x is 10. Okay, it's already isolated. So square both sides. X is 100. We're done. All right, some will be very, very easy. All right, what if I just do the square root of x plus 6 equals 3? All right, so let's isolate it. So square root of x equals negative 3. So now I have x equals negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Okay, let's check it. Square root of 9 plus 6. I want to know, is that 3? So is 3 plus 6 really 3? Is, oh, no, it's not 12. Silly me. 9 does not equal 3. Right? So there's no solution. We can also write that like this. We can write that like this. Okay, so lots of ways we can write that there's no solution. All right, let's try another one. All right, what if we have a number like this? So let's say 5 radical 2x equals 30. All right, so isolate it. So let's divide by 5. So now square root of 2x equals 6. Now let's square both sides. So 2x equals 36. So x must be 18. And if we check that one, square root of 18 be 36. Square root of 36 is 6. 6 is 5 is 30. This one will indeed check. Let's try another one. Let's do negative 3 plus the square root of 5a plus 1 equals 9. So let's add 3. Square root of 5a plus 1, 12. We're going to square both sides. So 5a plus 1 equals 144. Divide that by 5. I get that my a value is 28.6. Now again, you could take a calculator, plug that in, and you'll find that that indeed gives you that answer. All right, so have fun solving some equations, and let me know if you have any questions. Hope to see you all soon.